Welcome everybody to the Digitalization in Property and Facility Management Best Practices and Latest Trend Leading a Sustainable Future webinar co-organized by the Malaysian Institute of Property and Facility Managers and ServeDeck Innovation to celebrate the World FM Day, which is today, May 11. This event has been launched, this celebration of a World FM Day has been launched back a few years ago by Global FM. And now, here we are. Welcome to all guests of honors, panelists, moderator, MIPFM members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon and welcome again to the World FM Day Celebration Malaysia webinar, jointly organized by MIPFM and the Malaysia and ServeDeck, a leading PropTech company which has since 2019 developed smart digitalized solution for property, facility and operation management. Facility management, according to several studies conducted between 1990 and 2015, is a more than 50 years old practice. It first started between the 70s and the 80s. At that time, assets owners started feeling the pressure of rising labor costs and opened the door to external service providers, setting them in charge of managing their building. And that happened mostly for CRE or commercial real estate. Since then, the facility management industry has been steadily growing, and in Asia Pacific alone is estimated by current research done by Statista and other agencies, is estimated having a value of above US $440 billion. And I'm not talking about the asset value, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the facility management business, market value. Facility management is the total management of properties, plants and human resources to improve service quality, reducing operating costs and increasing business value and providing, in the doing, competitive advantages to the asset owners. At the same time, facility managers continuously improve and actively support the workplace and its technology to actively support the business using it and achieving the beneficial improvement in human, social, and business outcomes. Facility management company and facility managers are kind of superheroes. They are normally covering many different areas under service provided, such as security, building accessibility support services, maintenance, cleaning, housekeeping, property management in terms of capital project, transaction, accommodation, cost of ownership and interior design, management of customers, CSR, administration, compliance, FM teams, IT systems, risks, and strategic activities. In the past, due to the lack of resources and data, it was difficult for an FM company to provide such a wide range of services, but pushed forward by the recent pandemic, we are now in the endemic era, digital transformation under the name of PropTech has come into the game to help. PropTech or property technology is the use of information technology to help individuals and companies to research, buy, sell and manage real estate and the built environment at large. It is designed PropTech to streamline and connect the processes for stakeholders and participants in all the different stages of the real estate market via web and apps-based solution. When we apply this definition to property and facility operation, the feeling is that for sure there will be an improvement, but how this will happen, it is not yet very clear to many or to the most. Which areas, costing, advantages, need for reskilling, or even need to create a special IT team to manage the system are still some of the many unanswered questions from FM professionals. I've been seeing in the registration file that I've been receiving from the ticketing platform that plenty of you have been asking questions in this direction, really to improve the clarity, to help the facility management industry to move from doing good to being great for the facility management company itself, for the asset owners, and most importantly for the user of the facilities. Today, organizing this webinar, MIPFM and ServeDeck have been inviting a panel of well-known professionals from both facility management and PropTech solution for facility managers to discuss and bring up the main pain points and related solutions and to feed all you delegates, participants, with the proper, deep and clear information about the future of facility management. Before we enter in the panel discussion, we have a bit of introduction, and we have a true and big guest of honor. So before we go further, let me introduce to you all Mr. John Carrillo. He is the chairman of Global FM, a global alliance for facility managers management company established in US in 2006. Pulling together leading players and associations worldwide to collaborate and further grow there and achieve the common objective. John Carrillo is a CFM and IFMA IFMA fellow, immediate past chair of IFMA, and he is the current chair of Global FM. He has more than 40 years of experience in facility management and corporate real estate at technology-related telecommunications and aerospace companies. Over the course of his career, John has managed as many as 1,500 facility management employees, developed strategic programs, built a missile factory, decommissioned a nuclear reactor, and managed large seismic retrofit projects in the San Francisco Bay Area. Carrillo earned a Bachelor of Science, a degree in architecture from California State Polytechnical University, and he also earned an Advanced Management Certificate from the Claremont University Graduate School. John, is really a pleasure to have you with us today, and welcome on board to this World Day celebration for facility managers. This floor is yours.
Very good. Thank you, Daniel. And thank you to MIPFM, ServeDeck, and Malaysia PropTech. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you all today. Today we celebrate World FM Day, and the theme for this year is Facility Management, Leading a Sustainable Future. So please take the time to reach out today to your FM constituency and thank them for all of their support during these last few challenging years. Facility management managers worldwide have made great strides providing for a safe and healthy work environment through the implementation of COVID protocol measures. And now facility managers are leading the global FM industry toward a sustainable future for the built environment. Next chart, please.
Yep.
One more. Oh, there, I guess there it is. Perfect.
Sorry, I don't know what happened.
No problems. One big takeaway from all of the challenges that lie ahead for facility practitioners need to enhance and build up our knowledge base and leadership skill set. We as individuals need to take charge of our own destiny, as the built environment is now being influenced by many global factors, and we must find ways to create opportunities to excel in our jobs while meeting the challenges to make improvements in this sustainable world. Here are what I believe are a few key initiatives that facility managers should be focused on going forward. 1, collaborate with IFM constituencies and governments to meet the SDGs, which is Sustainable Development Goals. Enable our companies that we work for to meet their own corporate sustainable strategies. Collaborate with our HR and IT departments to provide solutions to improve productivity in the work environment. Develop health and safety measures for a virtual office worker environment, which has significantly grown in the last couple of years. Implement digitization technology to improve cybersecurity. Deploy market systems technology to increase value and savings to your company. Many companies are expanding their talent pool by creating urban and satellite locations. And continue to meet with big data analysts, continue to invest with big data analytics, which will further increase your profitability with third-party supply chain vendors and contractors. I would summarize challenges ahead for facility managers in these three key areas. One, post-pandemic environment. If we can go back one, I think that's perfect. That's good. Continue to focus and improve on health and safety protocol measures in the workplace. There will be other pandemics ahead, so be prepared. Based on various regions throughout the world, the trend for office space will continue to shrink. Many companies have seen the benefits of improved productivity by moving work to people rather than people to work. The virtual office can improve your quality of life and allow you to balance your home life with flexible hours, less travel, and traffic hassle, with the result of reducing your company carbon footprint. The second key element that we should be attuned to is digitization evolution. With the exponential growth of Internet of Things solutions, implementation of big data, 5G, smart systems technology, you can significantly reduce operational costs while reducing greenhouse gas emissions in your buildings. I will speak further about this subject in the next few slides. And thirdly, environmental resilience. Based on the profound negative impact of climate change and global warming, there has been an increase of extreme weather events. So we must find various solutions to protect our facilities. Facility and property managers need to mitigate and adopt new construction and renovation projects that will harden their facilities. Also have an emergency business continuity plan in place so you can weather the storm, so to speak. And we must improve our resilience by providing redundancy and or creating alternative solutions to our building's utility infrastructure, which includes implementation of renewable energies. Perfect, that's the right slide. What's really important in terms of creating the foundation for your organization is being able to have best-in-class procedures. On this particular chart, best-in-class facility management organizations significantly improve performance and productivity by adopting an implementation of ISO facility management standards. Please become familiar with the various published standards and keep your eye out for future standards that are under development. Of importance, the ISO TC267 technical team has committed to develop ISO 41019 standards, which is called the role of FM in sustainability and resilience. This effort is in line with the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals. Next chart. I've been around for 40 years, so I've actually sat on each one of these silos for near 50 years as we watch the evolution of sustainability environmental initiatives that has actually resulted as a positive impact to the built environment. Today, about 40% of carbon emissions can be attributed to construction, operation, and maintenance of buildings. The continued threat of global warming, climate change requires a global commitment of government, public, corporate entities to be part of a solution to continue to reduce pollution. The most recent COP climate change conference with world leaders committed to focus on the following global environmental initiatives: phase out coal, which is a long-term solution, curtail deforestation, speed up electric vehicles, encourage investments in renewables, protect and restore ecosystems, build resilience infrastructure. Implementation of digitization technology solutions in the built environment, along with more resilient solutions, will help us to protect our businesses from severe storms, floods, earthquakes, hurricanes, forest fires, etc. So also enhance your knowledge base of the evolution of greenhouse emissions initiatives by reducing your carbon footprint to achieve net zero carbon building targets and to ultimately achieve carbon negative solutions. Understand how digitization technology can help you improve on reducing your carbon footprint and provide you more opportunities to utilize clean, renewable energy solutions while achieving carbon negative solution targets. Next chart, please. According to Planon Software Company, by 2023, the global IoT smart building market will approach 51 billion US globally. Of this IoT, Internet of Things, smart building market, 33% will be powered by AI, artificial intelligence. During the last 3 to 4 decades, the primary life cycle of building management systems has been developed and enhanced. Technology has evolved from manual to analog to digitization process, now utilizing smart systems technology, including fault diagnostics, able to do predictive corrective maintenance solutions, while along increasing in AI and machine-to-machine learning capabilities. We have seen the benefits installing fiber optics and watching the enhancement of power and big data analytics as we transition spectrum speeds from 4 to 5Gs. Monitoring of your assets and portfolio and conductive space plans has evolved with the use of technology from CAD to CAFM and now BIM to IWMS platforms. Digital twin internet protocol platforms permit facility management teams to optimally operate and maintain all building devices. Digital twin technology collects all building information modeling and integrates, monitors all building components such as infrastructure equipment, mechanical, electrical, building system, security, elevators, lighting, etc., interior personnel and exterior traffic patterns, including charging stations, maximizing energy savings, implementation of renewable alternatives, including resilient solutions, optimal constructability alternatives, including LEED and green solutions. Okay, and as we transition, the next slide, please. For those facility and property managers, the building management system has evolved into an enterprise program, which I had personally been involved with. Let me go through this particular slide here. During the last 35 years, various building automation systems has evolved, which monitors building systems and infrastructure equipment. The initial intent of these programs, CMMS, CAFM, BMS, were designed to control set points and monitor temperatures and track the deployment of a preventive maintenance program, including inventory tracking of materials. And that we have seen over the last 2 to 3 decades. About 10 years ago, later, BAS programs were developed to include the current functionality of CMMS, CAFM, BMS systems, but also perform equipment corrective maintenance recommendations, including energy systems, energy savings. One catch, there was a proprietary system for only owned manufacturers. Since then, we know that all the data points have been collected through a process called API. And API, which is basically Internet Protocol Gateway to all pieces of equipment, and you'll be able to monitor their progress of where they're at in the life cycle. And as you can see on this particular chart, there's a variation of benefits to it. The one thing in particular that I was involved with in this particular program when I worked in telecommunications, and we were able to deploy an enterprise building management systems across tens of millions of square feet primarily in the US, and hundreds of locations, 250 locations across the world, as we were able to increase the amount of sensors and activity and create fault diagnostics We also included external points, which has to do with weather, humidity, utility smart meters, and utility rates. And as a result of that, we were able to, in some cases, extend the useful life of major infrastructure equipment by 20+%. We were able to take preventative maintenance programs all the way and predict corrective and predictive repairs. And you have the capability to right size the equipment when it comes time to replace. So there's a lot of benefit to this particular program. And furthermore, you'll be able to reduce your CapEx expenditures because you're able to identify with your fault sensor diagnostics and to reduce capital expenditure on replacement programs. So this is a very robust program for those property and facility managers that utilizing this system. Okay, so that's that. I kind of dug a little deep on that. This is a chart that talks to, from a facility manager, property management standpoint, there's a variety of systems and platforms. And it's important that as you develop the software, the cloud services, data analytics, and the hardware, there are various solutions that are available. But in summary, it's very important for all of us as facility managers going forward to enhance your knowledge, to apply the right application on the use of smart technology. Remember, you can't measure all the dots until you find all the dots. And I sat through several meetings when I was working with AT&T, also with Google and Microsoft, when we were talking about the implementation of machine-to-machine learning and artificial intelligence. And that was the bottom line. You have to know what you're looking for or identify those potential targets and not expect that big data is going to crunch a lot of numbers and come up with a magical solution. So you need to really predict and project what you're trying to achieve. Digitization technology can help you to meet your corporate compliance sustainability goals, understand the challenges and opportunities to protect your facilities, and increase resilient solutions to minimize operation downtime during major weather events. So pretty much that's what I have to speak to you all today. I thank you for this opportunity, for letting me speak. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you for the very, very interesting presentation, bringing over the knowledge and what is happening in US as a fruit of your multi-year experience, no doubt, no doubt. Thank you so much for being with us today. For all of you to know, Johnny is logging in from San Francisco, and where is he now? It's 11 p.m. at night. But he mentioned to me that beside our, which is starting at 11 p.m. on Tuesday night, he will have a few more during the night, celebration of the World Facility Management Day in Africa and in Europe, if I didn't misunderstand you, John. Is it right?
Yes, correct.
So you are going to
be an all-nighter.
Yeah, you have a long night in front of you. Again, very interesting presentation, John. Thank you for it and for having been one of our guests of honor at the World FM Day celebration, Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen from the public, please help me to give a digital clap, join of hand to John again for his presentation. Industry associations have always contributed not only growing the business of their members, but also in building nations. This is the case with MIPFM, the Malaysia Institute of Property and Facility Managers, co-organizer of this event with ServeDeck Innovation and representing more than 1,000 facility managers and facility management companies in Malaysia. Today, we have as our second guest of honor, Dato' Surveyor Haji Kamarulzaman bin Mat Saleh, current president of MIPFM. Unfortunately, Dato' has been informing us this morning that due to some sudden call of duty, he couldn't make it to be with us. So his speech will be instead given by the Deputy President of MIPFM, Surveyor Haji Isaac bin Ismail. Surveyor Isaac is the founder and managing director of IM Global Property Consultants at Hyderabad. He has been in real estate practice since 1991. In 2015, he has been accredited as an international certified valuation specialist or business valuer by the International Association of Consultants, Valuators and Analysts, IACVA. He obtained his Master in Business and Administration MBA from the International Islamic University, Malaysia in 2006. Surveyor Haji Isaac has more than 28 years of experience in consultancy services, including valuation, estate agency, project management, auction, and property training. He has received an excellent award and the Property Manager of the Year from BOVAEP. Surveyor Haji Isaac is the current president of Persatuan Perunding Hartanah Muslim Malaysia, PEHAM, and Deputy President of MIPFM. Surveyor Haji Isaac, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy agenda to be with us today, and the floor is yours. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum and very good afternoon. Our guest of honor, Mr. John Carrillo, the chairman of Global FM, Dr. Daniel Gambero, the president of Malaysian PropTech Association, Surveyor Haji Azman Shah, Manarifin, the past presidents of MIPFM, and my fellow EXCO members, ServeDeck, and to all our distinguished participants. So it gives me a great pleasure to be here today to celebrate the World FM Day 2022 together with the chairman of the Global FM. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Mr. John Carrillo for successfully convening the World FM Day 2022. A warm welcome to all of you to the webinar on digitalization in property and facility management, the best practices and latest trends. I believe this webinar will be beneficial for all of us in enhancing our knowledge in technology, especially in property and facility management services. This webinar will provide a valuable platforms for exchanging thoughts and sharing innovative ideas. In line with the MIPFM objective, this webinar aims to members of the Institute to keep abreast with the latest development relating to the advancement of property and facility management practices. I wish all of you having a good and good sessions with this webinar. Thank you for being here with us today. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Surveyor Isaac, for the interesting and short, kind words and insight. I appreciate your rushing it through so that we can go back with our quite busy agenda. It has been an honor to have you as Malaysia Property and Facility Manager Deputy President and Mr. John Carrillo as Chairman of Global FM from US to officially open the World FM Day celebration Malaysia today. Thank you again, both of you. The theme and the title of this is Digitalization in Property and Facility Management, Best Practices and Latest Trend, and Experts Dialogue. Our experts will be moderated by Professor Surveyor Dr. Ting Kian Hua. He is the head of Real Estate Research, Southeast Asia Built Environment Research Center, Seaberg, College of Built Environment, University Technology Mara. Professor Ting is a chartered surveyor and a registered valuer, estate agent, property manager with a board of valuers, appraiser, estate agent and property managers. He has been the assessor for professional membership of RICS, committee member of BOVAEP, external examiner for local degrees, and master's real estate program and visiting professor of real estate investment, Henley Business School at the University of Reading, Malaysia. Professor Ting was vice president of MIPFM member He is a member of Asia Public Real Estate Association, APREA, board member of the Pacific Rim Real Estate Society, RICS Malaysia board member, member of NAPREC expert panel, and council member and editor-in-chief of the Royal Institute of Surveyor Malaysia. The expert panelists with us today are Surveyor Haji Isaac bin Ismail, founder and managing director of Global Property Consultant Hyderabad. We have been meeting him earlier during the opening speech. Surveyor Haji Azman Shahmod Arifin, board member of BOVAEP, past president of the Malaysian Institute of Professional Property and Facility Managers. He is the founder and CEO plus chief real estate consultant of Exastrata Solution Hyderabad. He graduated from the University of Glamorgan, UK, and is a registered valuer, estate agent and property manager with the board, as well as a chartered surveyor accredited by the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyor UK. He has extensive experience in the real estate industry and has been involved in the development and management of shopping centers, hypermalls, office complexes, and condominiums. As founder, CEO, and chief real estate consultant of Exastrata Solution, he provides consultancy services for retail design, development, mall repositioning, tenant mix planning, marketing, and leasing, including securing anchor tenants, management of shopping centers. Surveyor Azman was also a member of the drafting committee for the Strata Management Act in 2013 and regulation in 2015 and the Malaysian Property Management Standard in 2014. He is a past president of MIPFM, a board member of the Board of Valuers Appraiser, Estate Agent and Property Manager Malaysia, and sits on the Bar Council Disciplinary Committee and BOVAEP Disciplinary Board. Welcome, Surveyor Azman. Last of our experts is Mr. Suhendra Arianto. He is the co-founder and CTO of ServeDeck. He is a PropTech enthusiast and technology evangelist. He has more than 15 years proven accomplishment in developing software products and delivering mission-critical and impactful IT solutions. He has been playing critical roles in payment and banking solutions products development for major financial institutions in Asia and North America. He is the co-founder and CTO of ServeDeck, a fast-growing Malaysian-based PropTech startup. ServeDeck provides innovative digital platforms for all parties engaged in facility management ecosystem and supply chain, helping them to be more agile, current, competitive, scalable, and sustainable. Big portion of Suhendra time and attention are spent in pursuing and researching leading-edge technologies to make them practically usable for the industries, as well as being actively involved in many IT communities. Professor Tang, the floor is all yours for the panel discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Daniel. Yeah, to start off with, for the discussion, I would have the first question. Firstly, we would like to reflect that since 1st May, Malaysia has dropped several restrictive SOPs, and slowly the world appears to be set for a less unstable new normal. However, plenty of challenges have happened in the past 24 months with the COVID pandemic, and property and facility management ecosystem has been hit hard as it deals with people, properties, and the interrelationships between them. So what have been the main challenges and main pains of the FM ecosystem from your perspective, where digital transformation has helped the most, and which of the many processes still need to be looked at? I'd like to pose the question to Surveyor Ishak and followed by Surveyor Azman.
Thank you, Professor Surveyor Dr. Tang. So the questions on what are the main challenges and the pain point of facility management ecosystem. Basically, digital transformation has touched nearly every department in every businesses, in every sector over the last 20 years. It's reinvented what entire companies do and how they do it. It is also defeated companies who are too slow to adapt to its new realities. So the COVID-19 pandemic basically has shown us how critical the property and facility management industry in responding to a new business demand, changing offices and retail spaces to meet a new business need, supporting shift in working patterns, distributing and managing more dispersed assets, delivering rapid changes and available budgets, and ensuring businesses always keep up running and turning over. So basically, with the present digital transformation in facility management, it brings process automation, optimize operations, and embrace people too. So the big three digital transformation that has helped the most in facility management area is number one, in my opinion, is IoT. For the facility managers, the IoT helps in identifying issues and potential problems. Number two, machine learning, using AI to monitor physical assets and gather intelligence, make it easier to predict the performance life cycle for an asset before its performance is affected. And the third, mobile first, with software solutions that facilities managers can use on smartphones and tablets. The benefits of implementing a mobile first software solutions are very clear. It reduces downtime and gives managers greater control over projects and ability to track work in real time. Based on the facility management in Malaysia Local Authority identifying current issue study in the social sciences in 2017, elaborated that the challenges and processes that are still need to be looked at are the need of outsourcing and how to overcome the cost control that can improve the property and facility management performance. Back to you, Dr. Ting.
Yeah. How about Surveyor Asman? What do you think is the response to this transformation?
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Ting, moderator for today, and fellow panelists. In actual fact, I think the last 2 years have taught us a lot. You know, we have gone through the experience of working from home, working remotely, and also at the same time trying to run businesses and executing our business and functions. And I think this is the basic understanding of how things will move forward. In order for us to be able to adopt the post-pandemic working environment, is basically for us to adopt technology. Now, FM and PM have actually both had no choice. We had no choice but to actually embrace technology and to actually adopt it for the purpose of carrying out our responsibilities effectively and efficiently. And I think the basic things that we've had to improve over the last 2 years was also about communication. Whereby information was supposed to be sent out as quickly as possible to communicate, and also to inform of latest developments affecting us during the pandemic period. And this has actually evolved into creating community, creating I would say live communication in order for us to disseminate information as quickly as possible. And there are now a lot of apps which are available on mobile phones, on our iPads and tablets. And these are actually part of our life now. The only issue we have is that, of course, we become actually doing work 24 hours, 7 days a week. People can reach us at any time, and they expect rapid response. Now, apart from that, of course, there's the situation of energy and water saving, in terms of the sustainability of property and facility management. And this is where I would say that there are a lot of opportunities out there which are actually linked to IoT, Internet of Things, and also certain applications which can help us to monitor the usage. At the same time, also combined with other technologies such as the solar panels and sensors and detectors, we are able to actually do this very efficiently now, and also at very lower cost. Not low cost, but lower cost than before. And I think this will improve as we go along. And I think it's important for us to look at the basic thing of ensuring the safety and security of the working environment and also the living environment. And this is where we are looking at a lot of new technology, such as facial recognition, car plate recognition, biometric or thumbprint systems, which have gone very, very cheap now for us to adopt, and also IP cameras, which are linked up to the Wi-Fi, and we can actually connect into the system from anywhere in the world at the real time. So these are the things that I think we've begun to actually embrace. Now, moving forward, I think what Survey Haji Shah has already mentioned earlier, a lot of technology that we can see that is actually evolving, and we have things like now, sensors, detectors, and automation, AI, robots, robotics as well, which are actually assisting us in facility and property management in order to actually make our work more efficient and I would say more relevant to the expectation of the client. So I think these are part of things which are coming together in terms of the smart infrastructure for buildings and also environment. So I think moving forward, there's no turning back. We have to actually adopt and embrace, but the only embrace the technology. But the only issue is, of course, the cost commitment, which is not only capital expenditure but also long-term maintenance commitment. Since we need always to evolve and update our systems in order to follow the requirements during the coming months. Thank you.
Yeah. So the digital transformation during the COVID pandemic has been very much accelerated. And in fact, the digital solutions have been supporting the property and facility management selling through the pandemic age. My question to Suhendra, from your perspective as a technology specialist, and knowing that even though a lot has been done, which areas of FM have been benefiting the most and which are lagging behind and in need of urgent support from technology?
Thank you very much, Dr. Tang and fellow panelists. And once again, I just want to send my appreciations to all the facility managers that is joining this webinar. Yeah, of course, who else actually continues to take care of our buildings and facilities, rain or shine, day and night, is all of you. So again, today, special day, just want to send my appreciations to all of you. Yeah, back to the topic is that we see really acceleration of this digital transformation in the FM world, maybe something that we never see before in the past decades, probably. One of the things that become like a common theme across the people that we have been talking to, as well as our customers as well, is that the theme is always do more with less. What it means is that people, during the pandemic, of course, there are some restrictions in terms of the number of people that can actually work at the same time, number of people that can be in the room at the same time. And that actually forced everyone, all the facility management teams, people inside it, to actually be more productive. And how they can actually benefit digital transformation in this case is that all those manual processing, filling up paper forms, getting the paper forms from the office, and then filling up manually. And then once they, for example, this is a checklist to do the preventive maintenance. and then they need to fill up. And then once they're done, they need to walk again to the office just to get the signature, for example, from the supervisor, and then file it up. So what we have been seeing is that with the adoption of digital transformation or digital tools, is that all those unproductive things is no longer relevant, it's no longer needed. Hence, people can actually become more productive and efficient. And as the result, people can actually do the same thing or even more with less team. What I mean here is that people can actually operate with a lean team, and they can actually focus on what really matters in terms of performing inspection, for example, and also the rectification work. They can actually focus on those things rather than busy with all the paperwork, submissions, and double entry to the system, etc. Right? And also people, by having digital system in their hand, they have more time to do things like, for example, self-finding. They can actually use the times that used to be unproductive. They can actually use that time to be more productive by doing more self-finding effort, which eventually is something that the building owners would like, will appreciate definitely. Before something really breaks down, then if the FM companies or FM team already know about it, and then they can do predictive and corrective maintenance before that thing happens, then that is something that really appreciated by the building owners. As just now, the fellow panelists also mentioned that we work from home, some team or the managers actually doing some rosters, working from home. Digital system basically allows them to do remote monitoring. So it's not everything that must be checked on the spot on site, but using the digital systems, the person who executes the job, they can actually take pictures and video, and they can just upload it into the system using their mobile phones. It's very convenient, and the manager or supervisor can just ensuring that everything is done according to the protocol, to the SOP, just from their home. For example, they don't have to like go on site to check every single thing. Yeah, so that is the benefits. Another things that we have seen as well is that visitor management system, people adopting facial recognition to minimize the context between visitors, which is very important during the pandemic. Improvement on digital services for tenants. All those forms or applications now can be done digitally instead of like going down to the management office, filling up the forms, going back, collecting documents, and then submitting again physically. So all these things can be done digitally now. Energy savings is also a big part of it, because some of the office buildings may be not occupied fully 24/7, or even some tenants are actually like doing half-half, so not fully occupied. Hence, this is actually the opportunity for them to actually tune down, for example, like air conditioning system. They don't want to make it like full force all the time, because they know that the tenants is not fully 100% in the building. IoT devices and sensors, we see more adoptions on things like water level control, flood sensors, because I think it's unfortunately become a bit of a things recently that flood can happen anytime. So people start investing on flood sensors, especially on their basement parking. They want to prevent something from happening and really cost them a lot, and they want to know about it earlier. Things that need support in the future is that I think sensors nowadays become cheaper and cheaper, but I think we need more like reliable and affordable sensors moving forward. Yeah, and of course, we have all those blockchains and big data, and I think we can talk about that a bit later.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. As we know, the FM property management market has been growing in the past decade. In fact, Statista has estimated that the total Asia Pacific FM market value is worth US dollar of 440 billion in 2019. Now, this value, if we were to break it down into components, 21 US billion of worth of this market are actually into integrated FM, okay, or fully outsourced services. And the bulk of it would go into USD 158 billion into FM services, whereby it is a mix of outsourced and in-house services. And the bulk of it actually goes into 100% in-house services that comprise USD of 265 billion. So my question for Suhendra, this is actually a huge opportunity for FM service providers and practitioners. So how does the digital transformation can contribute in transforming the future of outsourced integrated FM into a more appealing alternative to asset owners?
Yeah, thank you. Definitely, this is really big opportunities for the facility management companies or businesses to take this opportunity and then grab it before it's gone. And I'll start with the general presumption that FM companies generally is seen to has more expertise compared to the building owner themselves. And I think this is still relevant until today. And few things that can make them become ahead in terms of like in-house team of the building owner is that when using digital systems, digital applications, that we will know exactly about the asset history from the day they are commissioned into the building and then start operating. All the breakdowns, all the defects or any incidents related to the assets, including all the maintenance history, is now being recorded digitally. So imagine, like, I like to use this analogy of our car, right? In the olden days, everything is about the service book. So if you want to know the history, you need to flip that book and then see when was the last time I actually changed my battery or when I changed my gearbox oil, for example. And it's the same thing happens in facility management. I believe that if you're still using a digital or manual recording, then yeah, there will be a lot of time spent on like checking those records and checking when is the next, let's say, maintenance, or when was the last time we actually changed this particular component. So using digital systems, everything will be available at the point of your fingertips. Basically, you can actually retrieve those information anytime you need it. Another thing is the ability to perform root cause analysis, because again, all the incidents, all the breakdowns, all the corrective maintenance is all being recorded. And from there, if there is a pattern, and in fact, with the help of analytics and big data, the system will be able to actually derive those information and then give the insights to the facility managers to start look into certain things. For example, if there are many light bulbs actually fuse almost at the same time in the same location, then it could be something else. It's not just the light bulb itself, but maybe it's something else that actually behind it that actually is about to become faulty, right? Other things that actually can benefit FM in this case is that it allows them to do predictive maintenance through sensors and IoTs as well, as we all mentioned just now, to avoid really major breakdowns that actually upset the building owners. That's first thing. The second is actually the tenants or the occupants of the buildings. I've seen like incidents that actually can easily be prevented by deploying simple sensors or by just a routine maintenance. But it's just that because it's not being done or it's not being done properly, because let's say manual checklist is just being ticked like yes, without doing the actual checking. And this is something that the digital system can help to enforce the SOP so that the checklist must be done when the person is on site. So these are the things that we have seen. And maybe lastly is the compliance management, whereby those statutory requirements or licenses from the authorities like JKKP, if there is any mismanage of this compliance, then it incurs penalties and inconveniences, and which can easily be prevented using a digital system because the system can send automatic reminders when this is about to overdue.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so I would like to ask Surveyor Isha, how can we make integrated property and FM services appealing to asset owners? Yeah.
Well, basically, to me, I think transformation, and using digital, device and all that, so will help to prevent fraudulent activities. So basically, now the problems in the property and facility management business, there are a lot of things that are not or easily be changed, but with digital apps that's available, so you can prevent these fraudulent activities to happen. Number two, to me, I think you can eliminate manual documentation. The eliminations of manual documentations or paperwork will ensure, that you have environmental benefits as well. So that will basically help us to do a better property transfer processes in the future. So number three, to me, I think you can basically help the property manager to basically do the tracking and tracing if there is any problems along the process of the supply chain. So with digital applications that's coming in the big way now, so that will help the property manager and facility manager to basically improve the communications to the asset owners.
Right. How about your view, Surveyor Asman?
Well, to be frank with you, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that that the owners would appreciate with the assistance of competent and skilled property managers or facility managers. And of course, a lot of companies have actually ventured into FM and PM. And I think the most important part now is to combine technology and the FM aspects in order to meet the client's expectations. Now, this is where I think big data analytics, for instance, is very important for us to adopt, for us to be able to really gauge perhaps the building users, building occupants, I would say expectations, and also at the same time how the facility managers can I would say satisfactorily meet their demand. Nowadays, our clients have actually become so demanding, and at the same time, they do not want to pay as much as before. Okay, so we have to balance, the aspect of cost and also the service, because this is where it makes us different in the long term when we compare with our competitors. Thank you.
To continue with our discussion, as we have seen during the John Carrillo's presentation, we can see that the various technologies like AI, big data, 5G, and so on, they have impacted the property and FM industries. Now, can you give us some examples of the applications to the FM and property ecosystem? And what should be the priority from an operational point of view of all these new technologies? My question to Suhendra.
Thank you very much. And yeah, people has been saying the future is now, and I believe there are so many buzzwords out there in digital space, like things that people talking about blockchain, machine learning, big data, until things like NFT, metaverse, etc. So where do we start, right? One thing that we have been seeing, and also I think this is something that is quite close to being really practical, is actually to maximize the BMS that you already have at the moment. And I believe that most of the buildings actually have the BMS in some sort of form. But the problem is that the BMS typically is just installed in one PC and located in basement one, and nobody actually look into it until something happens, and then, okay, just open and asking where's the password of this, the BMS PC, right? So the actual benefit that we can actually get immediately from the BMS is that if we can put extension into that BMS by installing some like an agent that actually can pull the data and then push it to the cloud services. In this case, it's like the facility management system on the apps or on the web that can automatically trigger when something starts to go wrong, some reading that actually not supposed to be there, but it's there today. It's never been experienced before, and this is something that is unusual. It can send a signal directly to the cloud services digital system that can directly send you notification on your mobile. So in that way, we don't have to have somebody that's sitting in front of the PC and then staring at the screen every single day. But as and when there's something that starts to go wrong, then you'll be the first person to know about it before the tenant start complaining, before the building owner start complaining. Yeah, so I think that is very practical, and I believe all the buildings have a BMS. So that is, I think, one thing that can be adopted quite practically and quite easily. Second is we see things like smart meters, either for water or electricity, that can actually communicate wirelessly, so that the meter reading doesn't have to be read like manually by moving from floor to floor. It can be just centralized and then send all the reading by the time that you want it, let's say every month basis. And talking about the future, we go with analytics, that more and more data being generated, all the breakdowns, incidents, the maintenance actually being put in the system. Then you'll have more data to actually draw conclusions or insights. And this can be like a collective knowledge. If you have like multiple buildings under your portfolio, you can actually see the common patterns that happens across the buildings that you manage, and then you can actually do optimization or preventive measures or actions to do something before something really big happens. And of course, by having the data, analytics will also help to optimize the manpower, the skill set that you really need into a specific section or division of the team. You can actually optimize once you have the data in the system. So talking about blockchain, and this is quite interesting, and I've been engaged actually in multiple discussions with academicians from various universities as well as the government agencies, is that it is actually a general direction from the government itself actually to adopt more digital infrastructure, and blockchain is really one of it. How this is being used, I'm not talking about Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything, a cryptocurrency here. I'm talking more into a private blockchain that actually can be used to store those data of compliance activities, for example, to store the lift inspection by JKKP or firefighting inspection by Bomba, for example. All those checklists, all the data can be stored in blockchain, and the good thing about blockchain is that nobody can actually amend or tamper with the data once it's actually stored. So it's stored there permanently. And of course, we are talking about a private blockchain here. We also talk about contracts being actually stored in the blockchain, and by deploying private blockchain instead of public blockchain like Ethereum or Bitcoin, just now I mentioned, private blockchain actually allows the management of the privacy of the data. So you don't have to worry like, okay, once my data is in the blockchain, then everyone is going to see the numbers in my contract. No, that's not the case. I just want to clarify that this is really a misconception that I've been hearing from the market, is that, yeah, people really scared because they actually have those, their trade secret, etc. They don't want to publish this one to everybody else. Of course, we understand that. But the thing about the private blockchain is that it allows only restricted parties actually can see and modify, sorry, not modify, but access the data when they actually need it. So this is coming actually very, very soon, and maybe it will be there before you actually know it, and because it's currently being in progress, being prototyped, and it's going to happen very, very soon. Lastly, it's about 5G. We see more, of course, all this 5G investment in the country, and the things that we are actually seeing is that it actually facilitate more things like robotics. They start happening. I don't know how many of you actually have those robot cleaners, vacuum cleaners in your house. I believe like most of you do. So this is going to crawl further to commercial space, and in terms of housekeeping as well as for security related efforts.
Yeah, we have a lot of technologies to be adopted, yeah, in the field of property and also FM. So, Surveyor Ishak, so what do you think is the priority in terms of all these new technologies?
Well, I agree with Mr. Suhendra that the rapid growth, the rapid pace of the technology growth has the great potential to make everything much more easier, data-driven, and automated, of course. So the evolutions of digital tools and technology applied in the property and facility management industry, so has given us a lot of ideas on how we can address the current issues in managing properties in Malaysia. Lack of accessibility, lack of transparency, the third-party interference. There are many of complex agreement that need to be managed. Managing cash flow is one of them. Record keeping and security is another issue. Multiple entities can modify database and all that. So that is basically something that we need to focus on, the protection and security of information and infrastructural resources, including, to me, is a business continuity procedures, what people call business continuity planning. So this is something, to me, I think, so we have to assess more scenarios and do more risk assessment as well, as special operations to be undertaken in the event of disaster. In the case of COVID-19, disaster recovery is a very, very important areas. But to comment a bit on the blockchain technology and the application implementation of the blockchain here in Malaysia. So to me, I think so we need to address the issues of regulatory power. So currently, I think we're still having problem of poor governing act, guidelines or regulations with regard to this blockchain implementation. The existing laws, basically, there's no specific act authorized the utilization of a blockchain. Some people are even not aware, to me, about the importance of blockchain and how this new technology of blockchain, can help. There's no proper financial model, basically. In existence to propose any possible private or public blockchain in Malaysia. So I think when we talk about in the operational point of views, so these all new technologies, so basically will come into one possible issues. That is a human capital. Because the human capital, I think we still need to address and improve in terms of the skill sets, the competency of the people who are managing so that new technologies. So this is where the MIPFM, together with the PropTech, solution provider, so we need to work hand in hand. To educate the public, all right, and basically the new technology should be able to basically address the problem that I've mentioned. So to me, I think if we are talking about what importance in operational strategies is to basically ensuring, there's no disturbance. So in terms of the operational day-to-day maintenance work. And number two, in terms of the digital records, the information must be, real-time, possible. So I think that is very important. And basically, the Act, 242 will need to address the issues in digitalization of these processes, and also the Act 757, which is the Strata Management Act, will also need to address in terms of providing the online applications when it comes to the technologies.
Yeah, how about Surveyor Asman? What is your view regarding this?
Okay, today we are combining facility management, property management, and property technology. There's a lot of opportunities out there, in fact, and I would imagine that every single thing that we do now are related to technology, whether it's IoT, big data, data analytics, or even robotics. Yeah, machine learning and AIs are part of our lives now within a short period of time because of the pandemic. Okay, when we talk about all this and the aspect of priority, as you put it, as service provider, in my opinion, I would be looking at what would be the expectation of my clients. It's actually supposed to be meeting their requirements, and also I would say we need to understand what are their pain points. So that we can actually deliver a service which comes with solutions. So I think most of all this technology is probably geared towards what we call providing solutions, providing solutions to the market. And this is how a lot of systems or apps have evolved, because they try to meet the requirement of the client. Now, what are the things that the client expect? Normally, it's efficiency, cost saving, trust and transparency. They don't want they want everything is above board. They don't want anything which is out of the norm and it's not approved by them. So they need to be in control. They are looking at security and safety, aspect for their assets as well as their homes. They are looking at compliance, compliance not only of legislation but also compliance with the contract that we sign with our clients. There are certain KPIs that we have to meet, and all this will link back to how effective or how efficient we are delivering our services. And of course, at all times, what the client wants is real-time data. Real-time data. So if technology can provide all this, I think we are almost there in terms of providing a good service to our clients. But at the same time, we have to be careful because technology is always evolving. It's not cheap. It's not cheap to go into technology. And I think there's a lot of commitment in investment, capital investment, when you look into systems and also all this related technological advancement. Okay, thank you.
Right. So all this technology seems to be very promising. Yeah. Of course, for owners, they are more concerned about return on investment, right? So can you give us some practical examples of ROI of the digitization process? Suhendra?
Yeah, definitely people ask about this. Once I invest, okay, what do I get, right? So I just want to share a few things because I think the list can be quite long, but one of the things is that definitely the operation become more efficient because we can actually cut, again, those unproductive time, like again, filling up manual forms and then double entry into PC, prolong daily briefing because we need to explain to everyone what we are supposed to do today. This can be eliminated because if you are using digital system, then everything is right there on your hand, right? You can actually see that and then see all the progress in real time as Surveyor Asman just now mentioned. Next is that it allows the organization to scale up, right? I mean, we have been seeing that people use things like, for example, messaging platform, WhatsApp or other platforms, is that it's so many messages and it's really hard to organize. And I don't think I can imagine that if I manage, like say, now I manage 50 people under me, and then I want to grow to 100 people, managing from 10 buildings to become 20 or 30 buildings or even 100 buildings in the future. I don't think we can do any scaling just using things like, for example, messaging platform. So this is where the digital system, the proper facility management system, can actually help you to actually scale up your business to the new level, right? Things is to, like, for example, reduce penalties. Just now about the compliance, miscommunications happens everywhere. People forgot where they actually put the files in and then need to redo the entire documents, things like that. That can be reduced by having all your records in the digital system. And of course, as the asset owner, it's at their best interest to actually prolong the lifespan of the assets. And that can be done also using digital system to avoid surprises, to avoid all those big bombs that actually can be detected earlier. That all can be helped using digital systems. And last but not least is also by having all the data in the digital form, that is much easier for you to actually analyze the data, generate reports, do like some summarizing of the data that you have collected so far, and then do the improvements from there, and also to eliminate any possible loss that actually has been done in the past. Thank you.
Yeah, good. Surveyor Ishak, do you have any comments on that?
Well, talking about the ROI of the digitalization process, so this is something that I have mentioned before. That currently we don't have the proper financing model in adoption. This so-called digital appliance. So people are still afraid of cost. So, and if you want to talk about the break-even point, so not on whether there will be an increase in terms of the development charges that will have to be paid by the landowners and all that. So there must be a practical financial model to this to talk about the ROI. Of course, when we talk about ROI, you are talking about the revenue. You must be able to increase that. And how about the customer experience improvement, the issues of cost reduction, and employee productivity gain. So ultimately, for profit companies, they want to raise profit, right? For the non-profit organization, basically they want to run more efficiently. So we have to balance so these two, when talking about the ROI. So that's why to me the most important is to basically to do more and more research in the near future, to find what are the best ROI model for the profit companies and the non-profit organization, before we can come into a real practical model to this. But whether we like it or not, the technology is coming, and we need to adapt and face this reality in the future. So we need to basically find the best way how to address this. Of course, we know the benefit in implementation of these new technologies, but at the end of the day, it's still about how much cost they need to spend against the revenue that they will gain. If we can show to them and educate, especially the building owners, and they understand it. So I think we can have so more and more way to overcome these issues of ROI.
Right. Yeah. Surveyor Asman, do you think you have anything to add onto that?
Just some brief points. Basically, when we look at return on investment, sometimes you cannot really quantify them, but of course, it reflects on certain aspects of your business operations. I think everybody mentioned productivity. That's definitely a number one point that we are always looking for, in our business operations. We're also looking at profitability. Profitability, of course, by reducing the chances of breakdown, reducing the possibility of disruptions, and then at the same time avoiding cost, avoiding cost from escalating, by having predictive or preventive methods of ensuring that all our business activities have some extent of risk management. Okay, so all this is actually really sometimes difficult to quantify, but it will reflect on even competitiveness, of getting better jobs, better projects in the eyes of the client, because we are well ahead of our competitors. So I think this is the part where we need to actually look at, in fact, nowadays a lot of the prop tech providers are making it accessible. There are very, very interesting models, financing models for us to get involved. And most of them are actually just requiring us to subscribe. Gone were the days where you have to buy the system. And now, instead of buying big servers to be in our offices, we can subscribe to a cloud system, and it's very cheap. And you can keep, hundreds of terabytes of information very easily. So I think everything is coming together now. It's just the moment that you realize that everybody else is ahead of you, it'll be too late already. So I think we need not worry about the return on investment so much, but suffice to say, all the companies which have already moved on property technology, moved on with property technology, have already reaped the benefits the last 2 years. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, I think we have a good discussion throughout this 1 hour session. I would like to move on to the Q&A session now. I will pick some questions and I will put forward to the panel. There's a question here. Will the maintenance charge rise if we embrace digital transformation in property management? So obviously, apart from needing to convince the owners, we also need to convince the tenants and also the property owners of strata properties. So I know, so we understandably, this is a pertinent and a very important issue. Will the maintenance charge rise if we embrace digital transformation? I would like to pose the question to Surveyor Ishak.
Well, that is basically the hard question and the core issues that has been addressed during the general meetings, annual general meetings. Yeah, but to me, I think the last 2 years during the pandemic, whether you like it or not, so everybody have to go on to use technologies, digital device to manage and maintain the properties, and many more and more protect companies has come up with good solution to address the issues of cost. So as rightly mentioned by Surveyor Azman, that we can even now subscribe and pay monthly to them. We don't have to even purchase the entire cost that you used before. So to me, I think our experience with a few PropTech solution provider, so they have been able to basically help this issue. I don't think that there will be a huge maintenance rise in the future, but of course the property managers will need to find ways on how to improve the income base apart from the maintenance charges. So they will need to basically think on how they can improve in terms of collections. Number two is improve in terms of revenue base, in managing the complexes. So I think if they can do that, I'm sure that it will not be a burden. So the issues of increase the maintenance charges in the future will not be really an issue, moving forward, as the cost of doing business, with the support of technologies now becoming more cheaper now as compared to the last 4 years. So I think to answer that questions, don't worry so much. It become more cheap in the near future. So I think we can address that issues.
Thanks, Xavier Ishak. But yesterday I read in the newspaper saying that the costs are going to be higher, because chips are shortage because of logistic problems. So maybe this can also affect into sensors and things related to technology. Do you think this will happen in property and FM? Surveyor Asman?
When you talk about technology, of course, you need electronic components and things like that. So of course, at some point in time, with the war which is going around in Europe, and also the lockdown in certain countries, we know, cost is going to go up. But let's just look at the aspect of cost as a whole. Now, no longer that we ask whether we should be using PropTech. If you were to check with any condominium development now, they must have minimum property management software, which combines community portal, accounting, and also visitor management system. It's already built in, all in one. And they're charging around $1.50 or RM2 per resident, And that's very economical already. You have separate VMS systems, which actually now allows you to have less security guards. You can really cut down on the head count. Okay, and of course, I think there's a lot of things to do with vehicular access as well. Where people try to integrate too much, and you get a lot of problems after. But suffice to say is that the basic requirements of property technology is already in existence in most developments. I still remember the first 6 months of the pandemic, it was havoc. Everybody started to want to learn how to use systems. And I think by the end of the year, everybody is already an expert in operating the softwares. And I think the comment by Dr. Ting about cost of chips and all that coming up and all that, I think it's unavoidable, unfortunately. But again, as the demand grows, the supply also will grow, and the cost the cost of the material will be cheaper unless we cannot source for the raw materials. And of course, we'll have to then evolve to find alternative usage. Remember the access cards? Used to be 50 ringgit to replace one. Why? Or because it cost 20 ringgit to purchase in the past. Nowadays, you can buy for 5 ringgit to 7 ringgit, per piece. And you're only charging the residents less than 20 ringgit. All right. We used to have transponders which cost 400 ringgit, just so that the barricades can open up and down. Now you use RFID, which costs 5 ringgit to buy the strip. Amazing, isn't it? Amazing. So let's not talk about cost anymore. It's cheap enough now. It's just whether we are really educated enough to understand what the client wants and what the public or the market wants.
Thanks. Yeah. I have a question for Suhendra. This relating to security. Yeah. Can a hacker go into the sensor system and then spy into your office space, your shopping centers, and so on? Or they can steal your data from your system, So to what extent the users and those owners, to what extent they can be comfortable regarding security?
Thanks for the good question. Yeah, this is, I think it's very relevant questions. People start adopting technology, they have this worry about even just car, for example, right? Now we can actually like unlock our car from an apps, right? So what happened, will there be any possibility that someone can unlock my car even without me knowing? So security is a valid concern. However, this has been also a focus on PropTech providers. We are not simply building something that as long as it works and then it's just fine and just roll out. No, but we actually put more concerns also on the security. We ensure that the system actually is run or operated using really reliable cloud provider, because now we have things like Amazon Web Service, we have Azure, is everywhere now, and most of platform providers actually is running their system on those reliable data centers. And of course, we have some compliance like ISO 271 that actually give really a big comfort to the customers that actually their data is safe. The procedures are all there in place to protect the data. So it's about the data protection and privacy as well. About sensors, yes, of course, there are the potential. I cannot say that one system can be like 100% bug-free and not penetrable at all, but the sensors and the infrastructure has been designed in such a way that it has some handshake between the device itself and the platform, so that actually it able to authenticate to each other, so that it's not like simply just somebody knowing the IP address of that sensor and can connect directly. So yes, it's valid concern, but it all has been designed and addressed in such a way that it's actually should be safe for the actual operations.
Thanks. Yeah, I have also very important issue which will affect the success of digital transformation. So the question is, do we have enough trained personnel to undertake this digital transformation? This question will be posed to all the three panelists. And in fact, this question is also pertinent to Property Technology Association. So the last person to answer is Dr. Daniel. Okay, and then I will that will close the Q&A session. For that, Dr. Surveyor Ishak first, can you say mention maybe in what way maybe MIPFM can contribute towards providing personnel to this digital transformation?
Yeah, thank you. These very, very good questions. I think it is a duty of MIPFM as the professional NGOs focusing on promoting this, property and facility management professionals. So we need to look into providing more and more training sessions, right, to our members firms. So we have basically a plan to a series of seminars to improve the competency in all areas that we are doing. So I think the next roadshow will be in Penang, which will be on the 23rd to the 24th of May this month. So the focus in this training is basically one of them is also to focus into the issues of digital information or digital apps. So we are doing more and more training in the future. So I think the rest assured that the members are all encouraged to send their employees, their staff, to be trained by our subject matter experts. We are a series of program, the word CPDs, continuous professional developments, or the in-house training, so that the people who are sent to the sites are fully equipped with the technical know-how, in doing and performing the duties.
Yeah, Surveyor Asman, which from the private sector perspective, what kind of training you think you would like to see to prepare the people for this digital transformation?
Yes, in actual fact, the education should start from an early stage, basically, nowadays, as you can see, some universities have started to adopt property technology, I would say property technology subjects, and also at the same time offering, I would say, extension of courses for some of the graduates to actually familiarize themselves. I think it goes a long way if universities can start to, in fact, offer courses related to, property management softwares. It's similar to the architects. The architects have to use CAD. All right. Otherwise, they won't be accepted to any firm. The accountants must learn SQL, UBS. And if they apply for jobs, they don't know any of these softwares, they'll be rejected. The moment now, when you go to a property management or facility management company, you come with empty-handed. And nowadays when I interview my team, I will be asking them, are you familiar with any of the property management software systems? Are you familiar with the apps? Sorry, I can learn. So I say, I'm sorry, the other person has already got at least 1 year experience. So I will be taking that person and paying, 1,000 more than you, and this is where I think the demand is, and of the TVET, the vocational training, which the government is, promoting now, whereby you start immediately after secondary school, you can go in and study immediately, and I think this is where property technology, in terms of operating certain systems and understanding softwares. A lot of people are learning how to code now. Coding is very popular now. My son is doing a course in software engineering.
Great.
Because of the fact that this is what the market wants. So I think we all must learn, must understand that the demand is there, and I think all the companies need skill. That Tuan Ji Ishak was saying just now, we need people who are actually competent and also at the same time skilled, with the right skill set to do all this. Okay. So I think there is demand, and I'm sure within the next couple of months things will pick up because everybody is going back to college now. And I think property technology training will be the next business. Thank you.
Yeah, good. So for ServeDeck, how can you contribute from that point of view?
Yeah, definitely. This pandemic actually has taught us a lot. Last time before the Malaysia thing, nobody what is the QR code. Now everybody is super familiar with it. They know what to do with it. They actually know how to order food online, and everything is online. And some of this property digital system actually is as easy as you use Grab or things like ordering system. Yeah, so it's basically what you do is just to open the apps. You see something, you want to snap a picture, there's a button there to attach a picture or record a video, and you just put some description and you just key in. And the person who pick up just look at the items, open it, see what is in there, what is the instructions, do the job. Once they finish, snap another picture, and then close the work order, for example. So it's as easy as and as convenient as humanly possible. I think that is, from ServeDeck, that is our target. And of course, with system like ServeDeck, you have fellow customers that are actually using the same system. And we also can share best practices in terms of configuring checklists, for example. What is the best practices in configuring SLAs, etc. So there can be a share of information between the vendor and also the customers, or even the community of the users themselves that can actually exchange information. So I think that will actually help in terms of speeding up the adoption.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the last response would be from the president of Malaysia PropTech Association, Dr. Daniel. So what do you think?
You asked me to put my word so that then at the end your members will be able to say, hey, but you said, Okay, no worries at all. First thing first, You look at the five the five images that you have in front of you. Dr. Ting, Surveyor Asman, Surveyor Isaac, myself, and Suhendra. Out of five, four have more gray hair than black one, which means if we have learned how to use technology, all the much younger can easily learn. Point two, all our members that I know, and ServeDeck is at the front line in this, are making the front end of an application extremely simple, because it has to be used by elderly, young people, maybe with some disabilities, so it has to be a really very user-friendly. And you don't need to learn any particular coding language, software programming language, or whatever. Third, as Surveyor Asman was saying, game change starts where? Starts at the university, at the educational side. PropTech is preparing a full university course for the Faculty of Built Environment of the University of Reading. We are closing this cooperation, and I've been promising not only to the University of Reading, but to several others, within which UTM, University of Technology Mara, where Professor Ting is also a professor, to bring this course to the built environment faculties. On top, I can recommend all of you become an associate member of the Malaysian PropTech Association. We have a very affordable membership, and being member of MPA will allow you to receive a newsletter, to participate to event, to have educational sessions, mentoring session, advising session. Another 2 points, and then I return the word to Dr. Ting. One is commitment, very strong commitment of Malaysian PropTech Association in joining hands with MIPFM to bring technology to your doorstep. We have been having a very interesting meeting. Beforehand, this event was decided to be organized together, in which MPA has been committing itself in preparing a series of workshops for all MIPFM members to learn more about it. And last but not least, MPA is putting together an advisory council which will be able to advise property stakeholder, market players, users, to be advised towards the best direction to move forward from in their digital transformation adopting journey. So we are really hands-on on this, Dr. Ting, and I give my word, I will be responding to all your calls to help you all bringing your members to the technology world. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we have a very interesting discussion regarding digital transformation. So I would like to close this session, and thank you very much to the panelists and also Dr. Daniel, who comes in last minute. I'd like to pass the floor now to Michelle Tan. Thank you very much.
Yeah. It's been a very, very interesting discussion. I return in my role of EMC. Very interesting and catching discussion. I'm pretty sure you all have been gaining information and knowledge on what PropTech can help you with, how ServeDeck and technology can help you with your challenges in nowadays. But to have an eventually stronger proof, we have been inviting today with us Ms. Michelle Tan. She is a co-founder of and the Chief Revenue Officer of ServeDeck. She has more than 15 years of experience and is gifted with the skills in solving business challenges faced by various industries with information technology. Her field of expertise is in transforming companies using digitalization, automation, and technology innovation. Because of her passion to help companies over the years, she has been recognized on many levels and awarded, among them as a top achiever and high performance award receiver. Her track record includes developing new products and channel partners in order to reach out to more businesses. Michelle is currently a member of the National Association of Women Entrepreneurs of Malaysia and past committee member of ITSMF Malaysia. As I've been saying before, Michelle co-founded ServeDeck 4 years ago with the main objective to help businesses in real estate in the built environment to implement value-added change through innovative and intelligent automation and digitalization. So Michelle is here today with you for a very short while, a few minutes only, to give you a clear show-off of how a digital transformation tool like ServeDeck might be helping you resolving most of your challenges. Michelle, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, thank you, Dr. Daniel. And good afternoon, everyone. I think, in fact, I'm happy to see that so many of you actually is here to us to celebrate this special day with us. And I think 4 years ago, just to give a little bit background, 4 years ago when we started ServeDeck, we have a very clear vision, which is to actually digitize, to help digitize all the operation and maintenance of every building in Malaysia. That was our vision. Because at that time, we noticed that there's still a lot of operation is done manually, very manually, whether they are throwing WhatsApp, they are using paper and pen and walkie-talkie. And that's the reason we started ServeDeck. Now, and today, I mean, I'm quite happy to say that we have seen more and more building managers and owners have embarked on the journey of digitalizing their operation. And we are happy to see what they have benefited from it. And probably later I can share a bit on why I say so. And also, I think today to support more facility and property managers, let me take a few minutes to share how ServeDeck helps and support these digitalizations of operation and maintenance. Okay, next. So a quick intro of ServeDeck. Actually, we are a smart facility operation and management platform. And if you can see here, we are focused on mobile. We actually provide you a mobile and web-based, right? And why we say mobile? Because you can do it anytime, right? This is where we are talking about. You are not able to, you don't need to go back to office, fill in the form, and then key into the system, no more. Everything you can done immediately, anywhere, anytime. And if you look at our customer, we have many users from the management team, which is came from office building, shopping mall, retail store, township. They use ServeDeck for township management, theme park and clubhouses. They also use it for factories, maintenance and management. And of course, we are talking about hotel. We have a lot of hotels that's currently using ServeDeck for their day-to-day maintenance and operation. Now, next thing I would like to share is, if you look at this, this is our success story. And this is actually as at April last month. We have more than 300 buildings currently using ServeDeck. So buildings that we're talking about are mostly commercial building. And we have more than 800 outlets and stores using it. So this is what we want to explain. And the next one, okay, so this is a little bit overview about, a quick overview about ServeDeck. If you look at ServeDeck, right, we are in a solution that is very focused on, like I mentioned, your day-to-day in the operation of maintenance or as a facility manager or property manager, you are looking at work order. So we digitalize the work order operation. At the same time, we also promote digitalize the preventive maintenance. So over here, we are not talking about checklist, right, in the mobile. We are even talk about, you can actually schedule it. You can even see what is the pending task on your mobile, right? And what have been done. And then while you're doing your preventive maintenance, you can immediately take a picture to show why you say fail or why you say pass, right? And we also cover the manpower planning, because before you want to start a work order, you may want to know who is on the morning shift, evening shift. So these are all the digitalization that we have done. Now, the other part that we have is vendor and contract management. Now, this is also huge. Like every building, you're talking about multiple contractors, multiple permit, license. You have many license and permit that you need to track and monitor. This is where ServeDeck will come into the picture to send you auto notification, send you reminder, right? And then come with a lot of search function, yeah, category. And the other part that we want to cover is we also help you to digitalize how you handle your budget, maintenance budget, and also requisition, how you issue PO using ServeDeck. So it's all related. Like example, when I have a work order, I will need to tie back to asset, which asset, right? And from the asset, I need to tie back who are the contractors that are handling this. That's where the contract come in. And from the contract here, probably I may also need to know, is this going to utilize my existing budget or budget A or budget B, right? And then which are the vendor I need to send out this quotation or PO. So everything is related. That's why we are talking about integrated solution. And the other part that we are talking about is tenant request and feedback. Now, this is a huge thing, right? We noticed that a lot of management company, example, just a simple example, request for work permit, right? Work permit, or request for move in, move out, request for renovation. Everything is via form or email, right? Or physical form. What we are doing here is every form is now in the portal, and the contractor or the tenant can just download the form and then submit, and then you can set when is the due date, and then what are the, who should approve this request, A, B, and C. So all this is now done via digitally, right? And it's no longer using paper and pen. The other big component that we want to talk about is IoT integration. I will share this in my next slide. But over here, you can look at it. ServeDeck itself comes with everything that you do in ServeDeck. Why is helping you in saving a lot of your time? Why is helping you in cut down a lot of manual work? It's because we have put in a lot of like mobile notification reminder. We have provide everything that you do come with the SLA to remind you, right? To keep you updated what happened to the status, right? And we provide you management dashboard, which is a real-time dashboard, so that you as a manager, you're able to actually support your team better, right? You know what's happening, what is the status, right? At the same time, we also provide analytic reports. So this is very useful for your environment, right? You no longer need to, I have spoken to someone, they told me every month they need to prepare some report, right? For the management. And they need to download the picture from the mobile phone and upload again to the report. And they take them hours to prepare a monthly report. We ServeDeck with just one click. By 2 seconds, 3 seconds, your report is out with all the picture attached. So this is where we're talking about time saving, right? And converting manual to digital. Okay, the next slide that I'm going to talk about is the integration. Now, if you look at it, right, ServeDeck is actually very keen. In fact, this is something we see we can help. Of course, for us, the base, like I saw one question came in from the participant was asking, which are the priority? What should I do in digital transformation? For me, you can talk about AI, you can talk about machine learning, but what we are looking at is the base, a base that you need to convert the way you do things from manual to digital. And then you talk about digital talking to machine and machine, right? So that's where we come in and say, okay, we have an integration layer. Now with this integration layer, what we have is like, we are talking about even like we work with a lot of IoT partners for your info. So the partners are focusing on example, if you can see here, we are talking about energy monitoring, energy alert, right? Spike, you are able to see. And then we talk about carbon, we talk about the usage, right? Whether energy efficiency. All this is come from our integration with the sensor, the devices, right? IoT sensor and devices. And of course, these are everything that is possible. We can integrate with elevator. We have a customer who have a commercial lift and they want us to immediately send, the lift were able to send a work order immediately to ServeDeck if something is triggered and then something is not right, right? So this is a lot of things that we can do. And we also look at this integration is not just for the sake of integration. We are talking about automation. We are talking about cut down resources. Like example, I would not need a technician to go down to the basement or checking the water pump 3 times a day, right? That is very manual. If I have a water level sensor or monitoring, all this can be save the time so that they can focus on some other thing. And at the same time, we also talk about like, we have a lot of integration with chiller, HVAC, right, vendor, where they will trigger a work order to ServeDeck. Because whatever notification come in, then the work order will be the one that I will monitor whether we have done or we have resolved the issue, right? So these are examples. And next is, I would like to share is, this is part of how we help. I think I have mentioned some of it. Now, everything you do here in digitalization is not about, oh, I am having a mobile, I look cool. No, it's not that. In fact, everything we talk about is, with this digitalization, you are able to do automation, standardization. Let's say you have a 20 building or you are managing 30 building. It's easy for you to standardize when you have a digitalization. Instead of paper form, you may use your own form and that. And on top of that, we talk about mobility. Because of that, you are able to anytime, right? And I mentioned with the PPM, you are walking around with your phone, and at the same time you upload, you take down the meter reading or whatever, right? Everything is done. And at the same time, all this data that capture in ServeDeck or any system that you are using, you are able to give you a lot of decision making to make the right decision. Without this data, you cannot do improvement for your business, like how you handle your tenant, how you provide, deal with your contractor or vendor, right? Or in your operation, how do you improve your efficiency of your workforce, right? How do you manage and track your asset and then cut down the cost, right? In ServeDeck, with a certain report, you're able to know which asset costs you the most. For the last 1 year, last quarter, last 2 years, which asset that costs you the most? And if you can find the root cause, you were able to save costs, right? And of course, finance, budget, all this is what I just mentioned, right? And overall, what we would like to achieve is efficiency of your productivity, the team, and meet your organization SLA, customer expectation. And of course, we are talking about increased facilities uptime and maintain your equipment. Now, for your info, this is not new, right? Everyone know I need to do preventive or predictive or preventive maintenance. But instead of that, we come up with a lot of smart feature, like by scanning a QR code, you know which form you need to use for this asset and this PPM, right? And we have a lot of smart feature, auto schedule and all that. And of course, improve collaboration and communication. We have live chat on the mobile app. Right now, I can see a lot of building maintainers have a lot of WhatsApp group, or maybe sending email here and there, right? So what we have is every issue you can easily filter, search, and then system will auto trigger reminder and so forth. And of course, at the end, why you invest this system is the long run, you are looking at reduce your operation cost. So this is what we want to achieve, right? So I guess that's all for my sharing today. If you'd like to find out more, please contact us. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle, for the very interesting presentation. And I hope it has been helping all our participants to understand the extent of action of a digital solution applied properly in facility management. Now, before we close, stay tight, don't push still on the end button. Maybe, Michelle, you can stop sharing, please, so that we can see again the monitor with all the panelists and all the participants. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I would like, first of all, to thank very, very, very much all our delegates. We have been having a hit slightly above 200 delegates today, staying with us for more than 2 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, you are my heroes, really. Allow me to give you a big show of hand, because remaining 2 hours concentrated on such a technical and very interesting, catching webinar is not for all. So you already rock and roll, absolutely 100%. Then the next big thank you that I would like to give is to the two co-organizers of this fantastic webinar, ServeDeck Innovation and the Malaysian Institute of Property and Facility Managers. Michelle Tang, Suhendra Arianto, and Davent Law from the ServeDeck side, Professor Dr. Ting, Surveyor Asman, Surveyor Ishak, and Alim, the mysterious lady behind the scene, controlling all the spotlight and so on. You rock and roll, and thank you so much for being together and joining hands in building this very relevant webinar. And of course, at the end also to all our speakers, starting from Professor Ting, Surveyor Isaac, Surveyor Asman, Suhendra, and Ms. Michelle, for really giving meaningful and contentful presentation. We hope really that you all will have been finding this webinar interesting. Again, thank you very much. Very happy Wednesday. Very happy World FM Day celebration, Malaysia. We made it, and we made it great. So we will repeat it next year. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, all the heroes for today. Yeah.
Yes, all the heroes of FM.